Hello, my friends, and welcome to tonight's episode of the League of Amazing Adventurers here on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls. I hope everyone's doing really well tonight. A few announcements before we get started. Number one, many shows on the channel. Here are some of those shows. Tonight, League of Amazing Adventurers. It's honestly one of my favorite things in my life right now, and I love it.
I have a good time too.
Yeah. Then on Friday, end of the Genshin Impact short D&D campaign. Then in a week we do our session 0 for Spelljamma, and then we start the Spelljamma campaign. And
Spelljamma.
I have finally decided on how space looks. It has taken me this long because I've been just pounding my head against that.
Paisley.
No.
Paisley.
I hate Paisley.
Actually, it's Argyle.
Actually.
I mean, that would be cool, actually.
Actually, it's just Brennan
Alright,
Lee It's just infinite Brennan Lee Mulligan faces.
It's
Now,
so
that's
beautiful.
The kind of space.
Yeah.
Almonds.
And there's some variants. Like very rare times there'll be an Adam Conover face.
Adam Conover?
Yes, Adam Conover face. My bad.
He's good. Also, we're all quiet.
I fixed it.
To chat.
I didn't
Thank you,
change.
Squishy.
I didn't change my settings again like a dumbass.
I could just speak loudly.
I could just yell really loudly into my microphone, project like I am in a theater.
A thespian.
A thespian. I miss the stage.
The lesbian.
Maybe.
Anyway, so yeah, Friday we have Spelljammer starting up. Well, in 2 weeks. Saturday, Salt and Sorcery, later time, 9 p.m. Matt and I try to beat Dark Souls 3, Ulu. Sunday, Pokemon Scarlet Nuzlocke. Will I lose more Pokemon? Who knows? Come find out. But I have found in my Violet playthrough that I've been doing for myself a spot where I can get a very powerful Pokemon in my level range for the next gym, and that will be incredibly helpful. So come and check us out when we go and try to get ourselves a pseudo-legendary very early on.
Concerned.
Then, on Monday, Strength of Thousands AP. Matt runs that. I play a frog person. McKenna plays a fairy person who's also a bat person.
Nice.
It's going to have something very similar to what we've been doing recently. A bit of a time skip, though not nearly as much as 4 years. We're going to have 3 months.
It's going to be 3 months.
Yeah. And then on Tuesday, Dragonflight leveling stream.
You like dragons?
You like probably the best story that WoW's told in years? I'm doing it.
Well, it's barely begun. That's a pretty
I'm hoping
bold statement.
I'm huffing the copium.
Oh.
This could easily be another Warlords of Draenor or
Shadowlands.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed BFA. So whenever people are like BFA was terrible, I was like I really love BFA. And then of course on Wednesday, League of Amazing Adventurers will probably be done the time skip by that point. Who knows? We might start the Lightfall arc next week or the week after, and then once Lightfall is done, it's time for us to go to the Wild Wild West.
Yeehaw.
Ye to the haw.
Ye and also ha.
I've been stupidly excited for that one. Because it's just been so much fun to write for that. And
Many tumbleweeds will
I think
tumble.
those are all of our programming announcements. Small social media announcement. If you don't follow us already on Twitter, make sure to follow us on Twitter because I'm going to start posting some stuff on Mondays. Some monsters for you to use in your own games.
Ooh.
Or follow us on Hive because Twitter is dead and dying.
Yes,
If you've failed Twitter, do not blame you.
Also follow us on Hive because we're there too. No Nat Once follows us on Hive. They're like one of the biggest Pathfinder 2 YouTubers. So that's really interesting.
Fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
Neat.
they're a good guy. They're a good guy. I met them at PaizoCon, which unfortunately is doing fully online this year. Sad face. I really enjoyed going to an actual con, but it's not a safe time to do cons again. But yeah. And so those are all our announcements. Casts. Cooper is out tonight. They're feeling a little under the weather, so we're letting them get a coop nap in. And then, of course, we have the rest of our friends, the people that sit with me for many hours of the week playing tabletop games. I think the person I spend the most time with in a week now, Matt.
Yes, indeed.
Playing Garl.
I am playing Garl, who is going through an interesting period of their lives, to say the least.
Yeah, listen.
Much jubilation and also much sadness.
Now that our characters are level 20, this has now turned into like a fully character-driven drama. It's going to be great. Speaking of someone who loves drama and tea, McKenna
That
playing
is true.
Nimbus.
I do love both of those things, and also coffee. Hello, I am McKenna Ray Tynan, McKenna Ray Art on all the socials. I am playing Nimbus Evangelina Malthea Saint Altair, and her familiar, Merle.
And McKenna probably posted a TikTok before this, so if you have the app
did.
during the intro and you want to, go watch that during the intro, do that.
It's a real short one.
But before you do that, say hi to Abby, who plays Cassandra of Abby's Worlds the Stage fame.
Hey.
Is it... So now, Abby, this is a fun association I have with you. Because I've been trying to play The Witcher again. But there's a thing now where whenever I now play The Witcher, I've started calling Ciri Abby.
Yeah. I'm honored.
Yeah.
The question, though, how good is she at playing Gwent?
You know what? I am decent at Gwent. I got every single Gwent card in all of the expansions last time around.
Nice.
I am a degenerate and I play the monster deck.
Yes, you are a degenerate.
Ooh.
I like the monsters. I enjoy the monsters. Play style. Just have to make
I still haven't figured out the Skellige deck. I can't do the Skellige deck. I'm sorry.
It's difficult. It's a fun one, though. But those are all of our programming announcements. Those are all of our cast members. And we're going to roll the intro, and then we'll do a recap. And then we'll play some Pathfinder.
On the
Oh. But I hit the wrong button. Anyway, last time on the League of Amazing Adventurers, our party, 2 times ago, I guess, successfully stopped Treladar from taking over the world after defeating the Archmage Samiel. Based on the way I was spelling the
That's
name.
a name.
Samel.
After beating the Archmage Samel, that's just going to be canon now.
It sounds like the name of like a biblical angel that you can't look at because it like would burn your eyes or something.
I mean, considering where the campaign's going, that would be kind of fitting. But
Be not afraid, or
after defeating them, our party has a whole bunch of downtime. They started spending some time helping rebuild the world and getting things ready for the return of the Lord of Light, also known as Cassandra's ex-husband.
The bastard.
He has been dodging the divorce papers for centuries.
He has been. And we began a bit of a 3-year time skip. We got through like the first 6 months of year 1. And a lot happened in those 6 months. Nim, Gwen, and Alessandra had a picnic. Lynx took their students to a ruin in the woods, and they made an interesting discovery. And Cassandra and Garl got engaged.
And married in the same day.
And technically married. But
Technically, on paper.
on
On
paper,
paper. They haven't had a ceremony yet.
the ceremony will be our Christmas special that Matt will run in a hot minute.
There will be surprises. There will be chills. There will be possible unabashed hand-holding. The scandal.
Hell yeah.
God help me if I have to play Alessandra and Gwendolyn in that.
I mean,
Probably.
it's a one-shot. We probably won't have time for a lot of
Yeah.
extra stuff.
But
I run a tight ship.
oh, nautical wedding, fair enough. But I
Ooh.
don't think I'm forgetting anything. Am I forgetting anything? No, I don't think I am. We're just going to pick up then as we continue the time in that time skip. And we're going to go straight to Garl because absolutely nothing else happened last week. We did not leave off of any sort of cliffhanger,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
McKenna, your mic didn't pick you up there.
I said, yup.
In all seriousness, Nim contacted her mother after a year, and she has received a letter with a location and like a meeting place. So we're going to pick up with Nim immediately after receiving that letter.
Okay.
I'll go to a secondary location.
Information that I want to know going into this conversation about how things have evolved with the St. Altairs in the last year.
Okay.
Keeping up with the St. Altairs.
I was just thinking that.
Did
beat me
my
to it.
father find the divorce papers?
McKenna, I will let you make that decision.
Why?
I will let you make that decision. What would you like that answer to be?
I mean, he probably would have found them
All right.
based on like she just sort of shoved them in the drawer.
Then he definitely found them.
Have we had a conversation about that?
He has not wanted to approach the topic, but he
Okay.
does have them. Like he does have them filled out
Oh no.
because
Robo will. Robo will.
oh, my internet just died.
I'm so sorry, Will. You were completely robotic
Yeah,
for that entire last sentence.
my internet just went down to 1 kilobyte a second.
Ooh, yep, that's about as fast as you were
That-
coming through.
That's what the sound. That's what a kilobyte sounds like. Interesting.
That's what a kilobyte sounds like. You heard it here first, folks.
But in all seriousness, they have the divorce papers signed, and it's not something that they've wanted to approach with you, but you know that they've signed them, and like you know that they're like ready to be filed.
Divorce papers signed. We managed to make that out.
He signed them?
She signed them, and it wasn't like okay, yes, I want the divorce. It was like if this is what she wants, I will acquiesce.
Oh.
You haven't filed. They haven't been put in. They're just
They
there.
haven't been filed.
They exist.
And did he do anything regarding her request for a name change? And was that a discussion that we had?
It wouldn't. He's been going by his first name mainly. And that's really it. Like, he's not been. It's kind of not something that's come up. and I don't think he's ever said like his full name in front of you or Malachor in like the last year. He's just like using his first name.
If he were to ask,
Mm-hmm.
if a conversation were to come up, Nimbus would tell him in no uncertain terms that regardless of what he decides to do with the divorce, that is his business. She is a Saint Altair, and there is nothing she can do about that one way or the other. And he is her father. And she would very much like the world to know that they are father and daughter.
He probably gave you a very long hug after Nims said that. It's just like that's the danger of divination magic, and I think he's talked to Nim about this a whole bunch now, because like now essentially you are, if not his equal, his superior as far as like magical knowledge and power is concerned. So like your father before would just tell you to do things and not really explain the mechanics behind it. And it's like, you're just helping with this ritual. It's for the business, da-da-da. But now you're like, father's getting into like the whole nitty-gritty of things. It's like, I've been waiting to discuss like magical theory with someone who can talk on like the same level as me for years. And there's probably been like a couple of nights where you and your father have just had incredibly long nights talking about divination magic and like how wonderful it is as a magic, but also how dangerous it can be, and what your father learned from basically adhering too closely to a prophecy and the damage that can cause.
Yeah, that caused some damage.
Emotional.
That's a lot of damage.
2 emotional damage gift.
Didn't work.
Also, Malachor, has there been any changes with his name/names?
Malachor has been just kind of living their life.
Love that
They
for
don't
him.
live at home anymore.
No.
They moved
They
out.
have their own apartment.
They've actually moved up to go find themselves. Specifically, they moved up north to Melout.
Oh wow, that's north. That's not even.
they've been moving up north there,
anymore.
and they've been basically helping push into the Magisguard wastes. Like that's been kind of what they've been getting into doing.
Interesting. Good for them. Okay. That is some of the information that has happened over the last year that I wanted to know going into this conversation with my mother. Which is basically.
Malachor is doing really well as like just like an adventurer, and they're kind of like now picking up their own personality, and they're like they don't have a crew. They're kind of a solo person.
Interesting.
But like they'll be like teams that have gone missing in the Magisguard wastes, and he'll go out and look for them and bring people back alive more often than not.
Oh. Search and rescue.
Yeah.
Aww.
And he's upgraded his weapons.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're now like he's now basically dual wielding rapiers. It seems like he's picked up enough skill to be able to handle both of them at the same
I
time.
think if that would actually be practical.
Does he keep Nim's middle names?
Malachor, just to save time, does keep all the names, but he barely uses them.
That's fair.
Um,
Just to save time, he's like, you can just call me Malachor Saint Altair.
Just call me Malachor. Please, just call me Malachor.
No.
I don't want to spend 3 minutes listening to someone listing off my several names. It is the most...
Just don't call him late for dinner.
Oh god. What did that last group say? It was cringe. It's so cringe to me.
Wow. Interesting.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna try not to take that personally. Okay. Nim receives this letter from her mother. Wonders immediately why she didn't just answer the fucking sending. And I think goes down to Alessandra and Gwendolyn and just says,
Alessandra's in the process of making dinner.
I'm sorry, that smells wonderful. I have to go. I have a summons, sort of.
You see Gwen just go reaching towards like a very conspicuous belt, and you know that's like Gwen's weapon belt. It's like, all right, who we seeing? And Gwen's like buckling up. Getting
no,
ready to go.
I think I'll be doing this one alone. My mother has decided that she is ready to talk. Or at least I hope that's what she's decided.
Yes, Matt, you are correct in what Alessandra is wearing. Okay. Alessandra kind of stops cooking at that point and just kind of puts everything down and just like walks up to you and just takes you both by your hands. It's like,
Oh.
Nim, I know this is going to be a very difficult conversation for you. We are here to support you when you return. You are strong, and I love you very much. And she just like kind of kisses your hand and then gives you like a peck on the cheek.
I love you very much too. And both of you, your support has been invaluable. And I really cannot overstate how grateful I am. But I do have to go. I don't know how much longer she'll wait.
Gwen just comes and gives you a peck on your cheek as well.
Yes, it is returned in full. Yeah, I'm gonna use the travel key, which has to be one of the most amazing magical items we've received in this campaign.
Yeah.
What a boon to just be able to like open a door right to the front door of the familiar cafe.
I made you wait to level 20 to get fast travel.
Yeah.
But I mean, just for like how like, and just a peek behind the curtain for everyone here, with how fucking globe-trotting this adventure has been, because of like it's like OG pulp adventure like inspirations. At this point, with the amount of different pies that we have baking, we need this key to operate mechanically as a story.
Yeah. Yup.
Anyway,
At the familiar cafe.
yes, add a familiar cafe, a familiar cafe.
Yes.
Familiar.
Familiar.
Luckily, this place, once again, not really all that ravaged by the times of war. When you get there, the door kind of rings a bell, and a young girl comes up, and immediately upon the entering, like they're kind of like in the process of like sweeping. They look up. It's like, welcome, oh Nim, and coming running towards you is Abigail in like a little like uniform.
Abigail, darling girl, how have you been?
I've been so good and happy and wonderful. Everything's been so nice since you were here. And she's just hugging your leg.
Oh,
I got a job.
you're not working you're 10.
Yeah.
10-year-olds
I'm
should
not.
have
I'm not
jobs.
like. She just like points around her. I get to pet them all day, and I get gold.
Well, as long as they are compensating you fairly for your time.
I get a gold piece a day.
Oh, I need to speak to the manager immediately.
That's actually quite a lot of gold piece a day.
McKenna, to give you context, an entire week of like living high class in most cities is 10 silver. So she's essentially getting 10 weeks of like
My rent was 2,000 gold a month.
Yes, because landlords are leeches.
Like, I still think they should be paying you more. I mean, it cost what? It cost a couple gold pieces just for like a parfait.
Yes,
3 days of work for a parfait?
But keep in mind, well, I get them for free too.
Well,
But
yes,
also
but those
keep
prices
in mind
are...
that the prices go to feeding everyone here. Like, there's a whole bunch of familiars. Like, this is a shelter too.
All right, I just think you should advocate for yourself.
I mean, yeah, if I
Make sure that you are...
if I was going to like be making a living here, yeah, I would not be trying to make 1 gold a day, but like for just like a work experience thing as like a 10-year-old kid who lives in an orphanage, like I get a
Are
pet
you still living
cats.
in the orphanage?
For now, yeah. I mean, not many people want to adopt someone who sees ghosts.
Oh,
I mean, it's
Mhm.
understandable.
I don't think that's understandable at all. I don't suppose you have seen a woman who looks similar to me.
You're the sad one.
Yes, probably.
She just like points. Yeah, whenever she comes in, all the familiars come and running to the other side of the cafe.
Okay, thank you. Is she here at the moment?
Points. You just see her like sipping a coffee. Do you want anything to drink?
Tea, please, with honey would be lovely.
All right, I'll go grab that. And Abby runs
Oh,
off.
thank you. And I tip her. I tip her 50 gold.
Jesus
Oh
Christ!
That's
Goodness
a down
gracious.
payment on a house. She runs off.
She deserves it.
She does.
I need to take that out of my gold real quick.
Rich people, man.
Nim's going to be like on Salago's charitable acts r/charitable acts.
Salagoza's 30 under 30 list.
Yeah. Which, like, until now was very difficult because most of the wealth in Salagoza was centered around
Hoarded.
vampires who were definitely not under 30. But yeah.
All right, I'm going to steel myself, take a deep breath, and walk over to the table where my crazy mother is sitting.
She's just sitting there. She's just sipping a coffee. As you approach, a couple of notable changes to her.
Oh.
If she cut her hair, it's over. The divorce is final.
She has in fact cut her hair.
Damn.
Oh no.
But it's not like a like drastic change. It's more like a just very much cleaned up change. Like
Okay, did she
Right.
dye it?
she did not dye it.
There's a chance.
There's a chance.
She doesn't.
That's fair, because if she was depressed for like the last year and a half, she probably wasn't getting her hair done. Source. I don't know. Maybe I just made it up.
Source. Source. Life.
We don't need to talk about it.
experience.
We don't need to talk about it.
Source, who are you, my therapist?
Look, I just got a haircut. I'm fine.
After how many? Anyway.
3.
3 years.
A hot dog is just a hot dog.
But yeah, so she has like her hair's been like probably like the nicest you've seen it in a few years now, Nimbus. She's in the equivalent of a fantasy pantsuit. Just like some very like nice silks and things. And she's just sipping the coffee. You can see her working on some sort of like formula on a page. She kind of like chews at the pencil a bit. And then she stops and then like flips over the book. And then from there you see it's like, it looks like some sort of novel. She starts writing on that. And then she stops and then flips it back to the formula.
Am I interrupting you?
Oh, sorry, not at all. Just doing a little bit of work. And she closes the book. Just kind of gestures for you to sit.
I sit. So you've been in Salagoza for how long?
About 2 months now.
What have you been working on?
Not much, to be honest. It's been difficult to find focus these days.
Really? What's that?
Focus?
No, that. And Nim sort of nods towards.
Some ramblings and doodlings. A little bit of a magical formula. And a book.
Oh?
It's, taking part in a challenge that Salagoza has this time of year. You're meant to write a chapter of a book each day. I'm like 5 days behind, but, you know.
It's not like you at all.
It's been a difficult year, Nimbus.
Yeah.
Nim, do you always have detect magic up? Do you have that feat?
So I have, with the third eye,
Yeah.
and like basically a read aura up at all time.
Other than a strong abjuration, from her right wrist, you get no other magical presence on your mother.
Interesting.
She just kind of is looking at you.
May I ask what's been difficult?
Processing things that have happened recently in the last few years.
May I ask if you've gotten help?
I've gotten what help I can.
What does that mean?
I've been working through it on my own.
So, you've not gotten help then?
I don't think I'm at that stage yet. Where I would be... I recognize the fact that I will need help at some point, but I need to get to the point where I think that help will be helpful first. And currently...
And you don't think a professional might be able to help you with that?
I currently think that if I were to speak with a professional, that I would disregard what they say. And that is not a thing I should bother with them, if that is the case.
It sort of sounds like you've already decided that you're not going to listen to anything they've said.
Yes.
And I think you could just try to go into it with an open mind.
Perhaps. You do notice that she has been entirely focused on you, Nimbus, at this time. Abby comes up. Here you go, Miss Nim. And just like kind of
Thank you very
slides the
much.
teapot on. Looks down at Abby. Looks up to you. Abby just kind of like nods and runs off.
You could say thank you, you know.
She gets scared if I speak with her for too long. I mean...
Abby?
Yes.
That girl does not scare easily.
Maybe she has ghosts around her.
Ooh.
She holds up her finger. She says, Abigail, and you just hear an eep, and like a, yes. How can I help? It's like, could I have a refill in the coffee, please? Yes, of course. And just like a run. It's like I don't know what I did to put her off as much as I do, but
Well, do you have any ghosts around you? That might do it.
looks over right shoulder, looks over left shoulder. I mean, I haven't seen any, but they are ghosts if they are there. Abby comes back. Abby, do I have ghosts about me? Nim suggested I ask. It's like, no, you just kind of give off the vibe of someone who's kind of dead. And Abby runs off.
Abigail! You don't say that to people!
She asked! And Abby's continuing now to, like, clean up familiars and stuff. Well, that's a new box to unpack, isn't it? She just sips the coffee.
Perhaps I shouldn't have asked.
It's fine.
She means well. She's a sweet girl.
I can tell.
She was one of the girls at Desna's Hope.
Yes, I know. I've been helping them.
Oh, and here you said you hadn't been working on anything.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't consider just basic. I wouldn't consider it working. It's just being a basic person and helping out with something that is close to your heart. After all, it's
I don't know.
an orphanage.
You say that, but
I mean, it's kind of our responsibility.
how do you mean?
The orphanage was started by Lucinda.
Why does it take me so long to learn about these things?
It's just like,
I mean-
now, granted, it was started by Lucinda very early on in her life, but, you know, there are certain things, and she would come and fund them as much as she could from time to time. So I've been trying to help them become a little bit more self-sufficient and able to fund themselves a little bit better, because I recognized in the last few months that they were having some trafficking issues.
Oh, yes. I think luckily we put a stop to those in the, general regime change in Zaragoza.
Yes, you were quite successful at that.
Yeah.
Make it sound easy.
Yeah. You've been in talks with, Lady Triselda then, I'm assuming.
Yes, mainly. She's been interesting to work with.
Oh?
I mean, it's difficult to work with the Dampier from time to time. That's why I have this. And she, kind of brings up a bracelet and a bracer.
What is that? I sensed something from it earlier, but...
It's a magical suppression device. There's a bit of an aura that surrounds me that's not necessarily comfortable for undead.
An aura?
Yes. Just a ward that was, that I made for myself as a younger student, but I sealed that along with the rest of my magical abilities. And she just continues drinking her coffee.
Can you elaborate on that?
Oh, yes. I'm not currently using magic.
That's an interesting step.
It doesn't feel right.
How do you mean?
Have you ever cast a spell but gotten an ick while casting it? I don't know. It'd be... Nimbus, imagine if you tried to cast a nightmare spell.
Ooh.
It's sort of that general feeling whenever I use magic.
Well, I mean, the reason I don't cast nightmare spells is because I think it's deeply unethical to pervert something as pure as someone else's dreams, but I don't think all magic could be considered unethical.
No, I'm not saying that magic is unethical. I'm saying that, you know how you had the instant feeling of ick when I said that you would cast a nightmare spell? Like that.
Well, yes, but that's
the
for a
recoil.
specific reason.
The recoil that you did, though, that feeling of pulling back. Whenever I was casting magic in this last year, it felt like that consistently.
Sort of a disgust with your own magic?
Yes. So I am putting it in a box and locking it away for a short time.
Okay.
I mean, I'm perfectly capable without magic, Nimbus.
No, of course, I didn't mean to imply that you weren't. It just seems that putting something in a box and locking it away until further notice is possibly not the most productive way to deal with something.
I mean, to be fair, it worked with Garl quite handedly. And
No, it didn't. Garl has deeply seated trauma regarding that whole ordeal that she more or less refuses to address, and it is not benefiting her in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, she's fair. But yes.
Go to therapy, kids. Don't be like Garl.
Don't be like Garl. Don't be like Nim's mom. Sybil Cordelia St. Altair needs fucking...
It's okay to ask for help.
It's okay to ask for help.
But
Or, the worst part is that she's admitted that she needs help and just won't.
but Nimbus, I believe you had something you wanted to discuss.
I did have a few unanswered questions regarding wartime efforts, but I did not want to bombard you with them while you were busy.
No, feel free.
There was a mole at one point within the League of Amazing Adventures, theoretically reporting to Megdia and Trelladar. Would you know anything about that?
No.
You said, as if maybe you knew something about that.
I was worried that it would be something that... I was more worried that it was going to be something a little bit later on, but no, I had no moles in the League myself.
Not you specifically, but Trelladar, the greater...
I'm sure Trelladar... The League of Amazing Adventures is a vast organization. You must understand, Nimbus, you interact with the upper echelon of it. But there are...
Yes, but they had information on the upper echelon of it.
There are hundreds of members of the organization who can gather information very effectively. And from what I understand, Gallant, the former head, was a bit of a loudmouth.
You could say that. Well, there was theorizing that it was possibly someone within our own party, and when I learned that you were scrying on me as much as you were, I worried that it was unknowingly me.
So I apologize for that. I wanted to make sure that you were still alive when I was able to be in my right mind.
I appreciate that. I mean, I didn't at the time. It made me feel rather unsafe,
Yes,
but I appreciate the sentiment behind it.
I realize that now. It's sort of a hindsight being 2020 thing.
2020 was a shit year.
Oh, also, and you see her reach into a bag, and she pulls out this, like, a small box. I apologize. This is probably crossing a line. But there is a tradition in the St. Altairs that when we enter into a romantic entanglement...
Oh.
And
Yes?
she opens up, and there's this, like, lovely brooch. It has, like,
Is there any...
It has, like, a cosmic sapphire center. And it has, like, owl wings motifs all around it.
Oh.
It's like...
Have I ever seen her wear it?
No, appears to be, like, a new piece of jewelry she specifically bought for you.
Oh.
It's not a it's not a hand-me-down tradition. It's a sort of, like...
Right, of course, just,
There's only one hand-me-down tradition in our family, and unfortunately that one's a little bit complex, but you shouldn't have to deal with it for some time.
Sorry?
You shouldn't have to deal with it for some time.
I think I'm dealing with it. For what it's worth, but... thank you. I'm surprised you had heard about it.
A side effect of me continually scrying on you. Which is why I said it's sort of crossing a line that I offer you this now, but...
Well, I'm certain if you hadn't heard it from you, you probably would have heard it from Father at some point.
Are you happy with her?
Yes, very much so.
That's very good.
Sorry. The other question I wanted to ask, in Megdia, after Treladar's initial invasion, there was a series of, artificial intelligences set up?
Yes.
They used your likeness.
Yes. One of the many wartime decisions I was not allowed to have a say in.
Do you know why the decision was made? Or who made it?
Your father, and, well, technically not your father at the time, I suppose. But your father and the Archmage. They wanted a strong...
Do you know why?
They wanted a strong, stern, commanding presence, and Rosemine was not available to them. In addition to that, they thought that if you were somehow still alive, that it might throw you off.
It said something about you being the creator's muse, for what it's worth.
Well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to that.
The bridge with father.
Yes. He signed the papers.
But has not submitted them yet.
Yes. I know he signed them. I think he's waiting for me to ask if I want to submit them. And to be fair, I don't know if I want to submit them or not. That's the thing.
Was he terrible to you? Well,
Wasn't-
not him, but
It wasn't your father. There's a certain level of... And, like, Abby comes back for a second. Do you guys need anything? It's like, Abigail, if you could just... Could you keep the shop clear for, like, 10 minutes? Yes. Turns off. It's like, also, perhaps sit in the back. I don't really want you overhearing what I'm about to speak with Nimbus about. Abby just, like, nods, and, like, all the familiars go into the back with Abby for some treats.
Oh, treat them!
Merle just sadly like...
Merle, do you want to go? Do you want to go have some
No,
treats?
Merle stays with Nimbus.
Okay.
Merle knows that she might need him.
It wasn't your father at the time. But that still, there were events that took place and conspired that are difficult. And they are difficult to speak about. And quite frankly, I wish that I would never have to speak about these types of things with you. I wish that you would never encounter such a thing.
I don't understand if you're not upset with him, if you don't blame him for what happened, then I don't understand why you... I don't understand why you left.
Let me perhaps then be quite plain with it. When I look at your father, I do not see our father currently. I see the time that this last ordeal had taken, and I see that person. I see the person that brought Malachor into this world. not the person that brought you into this world.
He is still Malicor's father, is he not?
Biologically.
Oh.
Do you understand? So it's the situation. That is the situation I find myself in, Nimbus. That is why I left. And I'm hoping that space will solve that issue. It's why I can't look Malicor into the eyes.
If it is... God. If it means anything to you, I don't think he holds that against you.
I know.
And I'm sorry, I know this is difficult, but it's not fair to Malicor.
She kind of like... There's not like a smile, but there's like a recognition. It's not. And there is a time for wallowing, and there is a time for moving off the responsibilities that you've created in your life through decisions that, even if you did not have a part in making, were made for you. But it's taken a little bit more time than I thought it would. Although I do hear Malicor is doing quite well for themselves.
He is. He's been in Malouts, helping sort of re-establish
Yes.
some sort of civilization in the Magiscard wastes, so that it is not just a waste.
At least the boundless optimism that he has will come in handy for that.
I think I need to know how much of it was meant deliberately to hurt me.
I will need specifics to answer that. There were a number of things planned to deliberately hurt you and your friends.
Planned by you?
Planned by your father, myself, Malicor, once Malicor happened. Samuel.
I understand that Malicor is a sore subject. I still do not understand.
If you're asking why Malicor
You told
was...
me not to my face, but through sending directly into my own mind, that you had every intention of replacing me, and I wrote it off as... I was trying to be hopeful that maybe it was just talk, that Trelladar was listening and that you had to say something nasty to get them off your back. I would have understood that, but then you did it as completely and totally as one could possibly do such a thing. And I don't understand how your motivation could be anything other than to just hurt me.
Nimbus, I need you to understand that at that time, when your sending was received, I did say that as a means of playing into Treladar's hand. And it was my every intention to not do so. But my will was not taken into account for that decision.
You did want another child, did you not?
Malachor was a tool that the Archmage requested your father and I create.
God.
Now granted, Malachor as they are now, from what I've seen, they've seemed to at least taken the best parts of you. Albeit a little bit more naive, but side effect perhaps of their history.
I can accept that his existence was in part the fault of the Archmage, but the way that you named him and the memories that you specifically, Sybil Cordelia St. Altair, gave him,
Yes,
those were your decisions.
they were.
I don't understand them.
I gave them your memories so that they would have a baseline level of experience in combat, in dealing with hazardous social and hazardous situations in general. It was to give them the best chance of surviving.
You could have given him anyone's memories. Lucinda had an entire library.
Yes, but I knew that if I gave him yours, there would be a chance he wouldn't just be a weapon for Trellador.
Was that your rationale behind his names as well?
His name's with your father. Well, the celestial inside of your father. It's very difficult to sort of separate the two at times. For me, I apologize.
Yes, I understand.
And also partially propaganda.
How do you mean?
Well, you have to understand, Malachor was created as a tool to be used as a weapon, but also as a propaganda piece. You saw when you were in Trellador.
Yes, I did.
He was meant to be a rallying point for the youths. That's... yes. It's also considering, Malachor's actual history, the amount of young woman who desired him was...
Disgusting.
Yes.
Off-putting.
Off-putting, and quite frankly, not something that I would wish upon them.
No. Well, he's taking some time to just sort of be his own person.
I'm happy for
I
that.
have something fun planned for his birthday, though. It'll be a surprise. But, you should really think about, I don't know,
Going home?
maybe?
In time. There are...
At least maybe visiting Bright Hall.
There are 2 more stops that I need to make before I can return home.
Oh?
One of which is Bright Hall.
Are you not going to tell me the other one?
A small island in the middle of the ocean now.
Ah,
She
the site of the orphanage, I'm assuming?
opens up her book and just kind of slides the formula towards you. If I'm correct, it should at least be able to restore some of the landmass of the Opal Empire.
Oh.
Ambitious.
I discussed with Cassandra about finding some sort of way to do this, but we hadn't had a Oh, this is incredible. And Nimbus sort of picks it up.
I mean, to be fair, Nimbus, this is an arcane formula, and your talents do lie mainly in the divine.
Well, I suppose a miracle here or there couldn't hurt.
No, but as I said, this is essentially arcane calculus. It's nothing that I don't expect you to be able to do, but it's something that you're able to do, and I know you can handle it, but it may not have been the first thing that popped into your mind.
No, I mean, it actually was one of the first things that popped into my mind, very, very early on in the wartime efforts. I just didn't have a concrete plan for it.
Just points to the formula. Well, that's the base of it. Hopefully I'll be able to finish off the rest of it once I'm in Brightle.
Well, we have quite a bit of the architecture, quite a bit of everything, actually.
Yes,
Melanie Van Brail really did.
Percival also helped.
Did he?
He did his best.
Well, he was occupied with Vale. Well, let me just leave it at that.
If it does come up, please just give Percival the pat on his back. If he begins downward spiraling, he becomes absolutely useless.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Well, hopefully I'll get to see it.
Yes. I realize that I invited you here to answer your questions, but now I do have one of my own to ask you.
Of course, I had every intention of answering your questions.
Only one now. You don't intend to ever use what you've learned from Lucinda, I hope.
If I must, I must. If I don't, I'd be dead either way. It's less of a choice of saving myself or not than it is dying alone or taking everyone I love with me. So, it's not really a choice at all.
Abby's kind of like poking her head out to like see what's going on. Abby, it's fine. You can come out. Abby comes running out with like refills and like a little like familiar cake for Merle.
Oh.
Abby, thank you! Merle loves familiar cakes.
It's familiar cake.
Your mother just smiles at Abby, and Abby runs off. Continues working.
When did you know that I knew?
Just now with our conversation.
I thought you might have guessed when she passed and you hadn't heard about it.
The issue with that is Lucinda had improved the spell during her tenure while holding on to it to where it could be transferred via crystal, and if she had done that, it wouldn't have gotten to me until the crystal got to me.
Right.
I've been looking for that crystal, and that's one less thing on the plate now.
Yes.
I can't take that away from you, Nimbus.
No. No.
I would if I could.
I wouldn't ask that of you. I took it to knowing that,
Night before we faced the Archmage?
yeah.
Fair enough.
I was just a bit tired. You have to understand this entire, year leading up to that day was just person after person after person withholding vital information from me on the grounds that I wasn't smart enough, sturdy enough, anything enough to handle it.
Nimbus, I am in no place to judge you or your decisions. You made a decision with the information you had, and with the experience that you had gathered during, quite frankly, the most hellish year that could have happened to you in your life. You made the decision, and that decision was made. I'm not going to hold that against you. But I'm also not going to quietly allow you to go off into the night alone.
Well, if there is a solution to this impending apocalypse, whatever it is, I'd love to hear it, because I'm also not ready and willing to just go off into the dark.
No.
Quite a bit to live for these days. I would rather live for it.
Your mom smiles at that. Well, I mean, it's always been told of in stories, but I suppose deicide is always an option.
I'd love that, actually.
Kill a god?
I'm quite tired of this guy.
I'm sure Cassandra would like that too, considering her
I'm sure
origin.
Cassandra would love that.
Yeah, and Garl,
I mean,
considering Garl's entanglement. How is that progressing, by the way?
they got engaged.
Oh, I'm so happy for Garl.
And married on the same day. It was sort of a courthouse
nice.
wedding. Technically, Alessandra caught the bouquet, but then she threw it to Gwendolyn, and then Gwendolyn threw it back, and then Alessandra threw it back to her, and then Gwendolyn threw it back to her, and then they ended up giving it to me. So,
Oh.
it's kind of like I caught the bouquet.
Make me a insight check with perception.
Oh, come on, character sheet. Don't be like that.
Just make me this insight check.
I'm trying. Roll
Okay.
20 is. There we go.
There's a look on your mom's face for a second. It's not like a bad look, it's like a, ah.
What does that mean?
It's like a, ah. That makes sense. So the three of you then.
Sort of. I mean, we haven't really talked about it officially, but sort of.
Oh, that's nice. I'm very happy to hear that, Nimbus.
I'm sort of waiting
Till?
to see how these next 3 years shake out.
Do you really want to plant that death flag?
She says,
Feels
looking
like-
into the camera.
It feels like more of a death flag to commit to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that's very fair. I would not allow, and I realize that I'm in no place to give you romantic advice. But if there is one thing that my time when I was younger with your father taught me, is that the days you have with your loved ones are precious, and you should not squander them.
Believe it or not, watching you and father was actually...
Oh God, how much of our younger lives did you see?
just snippets here and there.
Did you see the
I
first
don't-
date?
I did see
Oh,
the first
God.
date.
You see her like pull out like a flask of some sorts.
Stop it. Stop it.
But no, it's Nimbus here, and she just like hands it to you. It's literally just espresso.
It's what?
Espresso.
Who puts espresso in a flask?
Well, she pours it into her coffee.
It would be very...
Also, flasks are metal. That's burning hot, first of all. Second of all,
Magical flask.
is it espresso or espresso?
Espresso.
There we go.
There you go.
To be fair, a lot of people make that mistake. That's not just on Will.
No,
No,
it
that's
is.
fair.
Listen, there's a reason why we have a whole channel dedicated to correcting me on our Discord.
By the way, join our Discord.
By the way, join our Discord.
Well, what I was going to say is that, things weren't always the warmest at our house growing up, but, watching you and Father interact with one another taught me a lot about what I need to know going into relationships, and I'm grateful that I was able to look up to you in that regard.
Hopefully a little bit that warmth can return.
That is my hope as well. I hope you will return at one point.
As I said, I have 2 more stops to make, and I shall.
All right.
If I'm not mistaken, Lynx is currently a professor at the Institute of Arts, yes?
That he is. He is currently on something of a field trip. Is it rude to call it a field trip when they're all college students?
Oh, yeah, I believe
Wouldn't it be called an excursion, maybe? That sounds a little bit more mature.
an archaeological expedition.
Expedition, that's the word. He is on an expedition.
Yes, they came through here.
They shouldn't have. They were meant to go to Izzle, if I'm remembering
Yes,
correctly.
but the easiest, this is the sort of like the last port of call before Izzle. Izzle is largely jungle still.
Understandable. Have you ever considered getting a familiar?
No.
Why is that?
It is not something that I've ever really wanted in life. And simply it.
Well, someone for you to talk to on a regular basis might be an invaluable asset.
That's
If you
very
won't
fair.
talk to me and you won't talk to Father, then promise me you will find someone to talk to.
I will.
All right.
But as I was saying with Lynx, if you would, I'll probably pass a message along to them. But should I figure out this ritual, it may be quite the experience for their students.
Yes. Yes, I will pass that along to him.
And quite frankly, I don't know what's sitting in the tunnels I would need to go into, so it would be nice to have some somewhat competent guards. But
Yes. Well, and maybe I can talk to the League about that as well.
that's one of my reasons for heading to Brighthall. Have a meeting I'm going to have with your former professor.
That'll be interesting. Oh, to be a fly on the wall in that conversation.
If you'd like, you can sit in. It's going to be dreadfully boring.
I'll take you up on that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think Nim finishes her cup of tea. I will see you soon, right?
Yes,
It won't be another year?
it will not be another year.
All right. Then I will bid you adieu.
She gets up and she comes and hugs you. It's like sort of like from the side of the chair. Like she gets like down and just holds you for a second.
Nim stiffens
That's fair.
and then sort of melts into it and gives her a hug back.
Oh. And then your mom just like gets up, says, well then, don't worry about the bill, I'll take care of it. Abby, yes? Here you go. And she just like plops the sack down into her hands.
I keep thinking you're talking about Abby.
Me too!
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
yeah.
know. Consequences of naming a character the same thing as one of the players.
Yeah. And so the party has killed Matthew. What?
So the party has killed Matthew. But in all seriousness, this isn't. She just like opens it up, tip included, tip included. Thank you. She just closes the bag and ties it to herself. And your
I'm gonna
mom-
get a Subaru.
your mom heads out. And Nim, you're just in that cafe?
I'll stay there for a little bit before
Ab-
pulling out my keys.
Abby
Of
waits
returning
on you
home.
and, gives you a big hug before you go. Gives him a real big kiss.
Oh, I miss that little girl. I'm so glad she's doing well.
Oh, Nim,
Hmm.
before you get going,
Hmm.
I probably should tell you.
Yes?
And she just like looks you dead ass in the eyes and she says, sometimes I've been hearing some voices telling me some things.
Oh, dear.
They say that they're still here. They just need
Who
to be
says
found.
they're still here?
I don't know. They just said that you would know.
Is it voices, plural or a singular voice?
It's sort of like it's strange because it's one voice, but it sounds like a lot, like a whole bunch of pieces.
Oh. And that's all they've said is that they're still here.
They just need to be found.
Interesting. What else have you gleaned about this voice? Any...
It sounds
Do
like
they
it sounds
sound-
like a lady.
Sounds like a lady?
Yeah,
Alright.
that's really it though. Like I said, it's kind of broken apart. I don't know. If you need to get there, I've started like. And you see her kind of like lock the door of the shop for a second. Sorry, this can be a little bit off-putting to people. So.
Oh.
And you just see her like hold out her hand. And as she's like holding it forward, she closes her eyes, and you see just the color almost draining from her hair a bit.
Oh.
And then concentrating into like just the palm of her hand, and like this little keyhole just appears. And then it disappears, and the color comes back. I've been working on growing power, magical stuff. It's why I've been working here. The owner's been helping me out with magic lessons too, so.
Oh, wow. That is a keyhole into a door. Do you know where that door leads, Abigail?
No idea.
Alright.
Um,
We did see in previous interactions with Abigail that she is a key to the land of the dead,
yes.
was my understanding of it.
Yep. The plane of death itself.
The plane of death itself. And she doesn't know. She's just opening doors willy-nilly.
Oh, she's actively harnessing that power. She has levels in sorcerer.
Oh my.
Yeah.
She's the protagonist of the next campaign.
No.
Abigail, darling.
Yeah?
I think that keyhole leads to, I don't want to scare you. But I think it is the plane of...
I see.
Well, you're going to see more of them on the other side of that door.
Ah.
That is a doorway to the plane of the dead.
Huh. That
Um,
explains things.
I want you to be very careful how far and what methods you use delving into this magic.
It's just like there's just like this puzzled look on her face of like after she said, that explains things, where there's a lot of dots being connected now in her head. It's like, huh. And it's very good magic. Watch. And she just like holds out her hands, and the scythe just lands in them.
Bonk.
Oh, please be careful with that.
Oh, okay. And she desummons it.
Okay.
If I swipe it hard enough,
Oh.
it sends like a wave out, and it hits things. It's cool.
Oh, I am worried for you.
Don't worry. I practiced it on target dummies.
I know, but that is very dangerous magic. Do you have a teacher besides the store owner?
Your mom's offered a few pointers while she's been here.
You should take her up on that.
I have. She's been really helpful. She scares the living daylights out of me. But, you know.
She's not that scary. She's just kind of
Cold.
stoic.
She's like cold, but like not dead person cold. She's like emotionally cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 That's
Like, I'm used to dead people cold, but emotionally cold is really weird.
that's my mom.
Colder than a corpse. Anyway.
Oh, Abigail. All right. Well, let me know if those voices have anything else to say. Are you able to send a sending?
Yeah, I can do that now.
All right. Send me one post haste.
Like a second passes, you hear a voice in your head. Post haste.
Okay. I'm glad that you have learned sending. You have
This
done
is
a very
fun.
good job. I think I must return to my roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Oh
my
man.
God,
we
they
just
were
became
roommates.
the TikTok sound of the best friends, colleagues, roommates, anything but lovers. History.
That can be
Anyway.
both. She's just not going to explain the intricacies of that to the 10-year-old. And I'm on my way. I'm leaving.
All right.
I'm gonna let someone else play
Everybody
Pathfinder
on
tonight.
my way.
Nim, you pop the door open, and waiting for you is Gwen and Elisandra with like blankets and hot chocolate and a fun little piece of technology that's come out of this conflict, using a combination of like sending and illusion magic, a little box that has plays within it that you can watch plays.
We have invented a television.
It's a black
If
box.
Chip had invented it, it would be called the Far Squeaker.
The far squeaker?
That's
I mean, for all we know, Chip did invent it.
this
Chip's
is
got
very
his little
much
fingers and many pies.
But believe it or not, this actually came out of Magdia.
Oh, I mean, I can see how that technology that they were using in, Control, Order, all of those
Yeah.
could be translated to something
For
fun.
art. It's not all doom and
Nim
gloom.
starts getting letters in the mail about an actual Keeping Up with the St. Altairs show for this box.
Every letter plays a little musical intro when it opens.
All right. Well, I am going to cuddle with my girlfriend on the couch and watch, I don't know, probably something light and fluffy. Whatever this world's equivalent of Legally Blonde the musical is, that's what we're watching.
What would be the equivalent of that? It would be a story set in Bridal
Uh-huh.
about a young woman who's come to join the League of Amazing Adventurers from like the middle of nowhere.
I mean, they have lawyers in this world. Well, there's no need to...
They do, but yeah, it's Legally Blonde. It's starring the fantasy equivalent of Ashley Tisdale.
Legally Blonde. It's a good fucking musical, y'all. I don't...
It is a musical. It's good.
It's one of the most intense jump rope sequences I've ever seen put to stage. But
Yes. But
anyway.
we're going to jump to Cassandra.
Ooh.
And just Cassandra for now, then we'll get to Garl right after.
Poor Matt's
Yeah.
been here for
I
an
know,
hour
I'm
and a
sorry,
half.
Matt.
Don't worry, I've been doing combat encounters in my head. I just got a crit.
Nice. Nice. What are you fighting
Yeah.
in your head?
I am fighting just Garl's preferred enemy, Undead, because she can just use
Treats.
positive energy damage all the time. Ooh, I just got a 69 in damage. Nice.
Nice.
Cassandra, wedding plans are important, but you have many other facets to your life.
Yes.
One of which comes to a screeching hold upon you for a bit. As one morning, once Garl is out doing some physical labor or helping rebuild something, there is a knocking at your door.
Coming. Put a little robe on.
Is it shave and a haircut?
No, it's just knocking. It's like,
Okay.
Yeah, open the door.
the second you open it up, there is standing in front of you a gaggle of girls.
Oh my.
Girls, girls.
Specifically, the girls that you had worked with during your time in Lutania and the Resistance. That like group of like young girls who are hanging out with you and Garl all the time.
I recall.
And
How did you get my address?
They appear to have found out where you live.
Oh, hi, guys.
Fun.
And they just look at you like, okay, so we know this is incredibly creepy. But we need you.
Girls are married. No, I'm just
Oh my.
what's wrong? What is it?
So, and they bring out this, like, box. This, like, cage carrier. And inside of it is a dog with several heads.
A Cerberus.
A what?
A little Cerberus.
Our partners were being a little bit annoying, so we thought we'd prank them with a spell that would like make them drool like a dog for like an hour.
Oh.
And they just point to the dog
They did this to their partners?
by accident.
To the people that they are in relationships with?
By accident.
Oh, that relationship's...
Oh my. Yes, no, bring him in. And Cassandra will like clear the table. She's got like a notebook on there and like ways to get Garl to therapy that she puts that to the side. And she's also got like another one that's
Have it be
like
in the prenup.
it's like how to go back in time to figure out how they killed a god. That notebook goes to the side. Wedding plans notebook goes to the side. She makes room on the
Scrapbooking.
table. Oh, scrapbooking. She's right here, I guess.
They just put the carrier on the thing. And the dog, like, all the heads are each looking at, like, one of the girls. And there's just, like, you know how dogs, like, get the look on their face sometimes, like, really? Really?
I know that all too well.
It's just that kind of look at them.
I'm sorry. If someone I was dating forced me to share a butthole with two other people, I would
it's like
never forgive that.
It's literally 5 guys. It's like a 5-headed Cerberus.
Oh, God!
5 guys, burgers, and fries.
Damn it, now I'm hungry.
It took us this long.
Hold on, let me order a crepe.
Ooh. I don't think Kawaii Crepe's still
No,
open.
Will is hungry.
I'll
I mean-
actually bring Hecate out to take a look at this dog.
It'll be open for another 18 minutes.
Hecate just, like, looks at the dog and then looks at you with the cat look of, what do you want me to do about this?
I said, I don't know, you have 3 eyes and powers that I know very little about. Can you undo this?
Hecate just, like, curls up on your shoulders, like, whatever, Mom, and, like, just passes out.
Yeah, fair enough. I said, so what exactly was the incantation and or spell you used to bring this into being?
They put the ritual onto the table for you to read.
Okay. Interesting. Is there anything interesting about it?
There's nothing. Like, very much the ritual was not meant to do that. It was meant to just, like, make them drool uncontrollably for, like, 30 minutes.
Okay.
It does, however, look like something interfered with the ritual.
I turn to them and say, "What might that something have been?"
I don't know. We were in like the apartment that we all share together, and we were doing some work, and then we did like the spell as like a joke, and then they turned into a dog.
Huh.
That's
If
rough.
you want, you can make me an Arcana check.
Yeah, I think I'll do that for sure. Da-da.
It may be a material they used in it. Like, going off of the book only, you don't have enough information. You need to get to the site to figure that out.
Yeah. I go, you know what? Pick up the puppy.
They just put
Puppies.
They put it back into the carrier.
And lead the way. Just give me 1 second. I run out the girl, say, "Hey, I gotta take care of this 5-headed dog real fast. Love you." And
Garl is confused if 5-headed dog is a euphemism for something.
whew,
He spends like probably an hour thinking about that, like Garl in the thinking man pose.
5-headed dog.
But
Like,
yeah,
maybe I should go to therapy and ask the therapist.
you're
No.
brought to their apartment, and Cassandra, you recognize it immediately. You've been to this area before. The last time you were in this area, it was turned into a sinkhole.
Oh, yes.
Specifically, this would have been the former Gladesman estate that has been now torn down, and basically an apartment building has been built on the land for it.
A fucked place to build an apartment complex.
Right? But they don't know.
Might that have had something to do with it?
Oh, definitely.
Maybe.
just a little bit.
I'm gonna get Nim on a speed dial real quick, give her the lowdown to what's happening.
Sure.
What? At the Gladesman estate?
Yeah, there's an apartment complex there now, and they tried to cast a spell, and now there's a 5-headed dog made up of 5 boys.
Desna, help them.
Exactly, that's what you're here to do.
At least I will be able to get there quickly. And you see a door pop open in front of you because Nim has previously visited the Gladesman estate.
Thank God for fast travel.
Thank God for fast travel. Okay, let me see the sorry souls that are...
You just see this, like,
God.
They
gaggle
look rather
girl.
cute.
Just 5-headed Cerberus.
And you're just letting them walk around naked?
The dog? Or the girl?
Yes,
It's a
the
dog.
dog. It's 5 people.
It's a dog.
It's hard to find a sweater with 5 necks.
Well, what about one sweater with one really big neck? If you stretched it out, oh God. Anyway,
they do make
let's
a
just
point
get this
that
done with.
they
And
do make a point that they gave the dog shoes.
Oh, thank you for giving them.
They're walking around. Bah, bah.
Little paw covers.
Cassandra, if you haven't learned Miracle, you really should try.
I have it prepared today.
That's all right. I've got it.
I wasn't expecting a 5-headed dog at my door. I do have faded
since-
confrontation, however.
Well, at least you have that. As one of the things that Miracle does is undo magic up to like a wish level.
Yeah.
I think it could handily undo whatever fuckery this is.
Are you going to cast Miracle on the five-headed dog?
I'm sure there's an easier, less than 10th level spell way to deal with this.
Yeah, it does the job.
But this seems the fastest, and Nim can do this twice a day. So
Do you head
will
back into the
perform.
apartment to do it, or do you just do it on the street?
That's a good question, actually.
Do you think it would be safe?
No, I think Nim gets a good distance away from the apartment complex and does it.
What's a good distance?
Like down the street and around the corner.
All right, like a block away.
Give it 2 blocks.
Okay, 2 blocks. So 2
Safe.
blocks in like an alleyway. The dog is released. You cast Miracle. The dog disappears for a second, and then just on the ground, spread about, are 5 completely naked guys.
This is why I said you should bring clothes. Alright, did you bring clothing for your partners, any of you?
They just have this.
Because I'm just like,
They have this look of, no. We thought their clothes would, come back.
I don't know why you thought that.
They're all just like, how far away from the apartment are we?
2 blocks.
One of them just gets up and starts running.
Run quickly.
The others follow.
that would be an interesting hazing ritual.
It was on this
I-
day that a new yearly tradition in Brighthall was born.
Cassandra, do not give them any more ideas. They have fully bungled this badly enough. And this was a result of casting at the former Gladesman estate?
Yes, we found.
Apparently.
Yes, we found a book in the basement.
You found a book in the basement?
Yes, a book in the basement.
Oh,
Oh,
good
look in the basement.
lord. Have you any familiarity with the history of this area?
None whatsoever.
Oh,
So you just started casting spells out of a book?
Yeah,
and
we
you
found
didn't
this like
know-
and they pull out this book.
Oh,
It's like
boy.
this ominous
Can I see
black.
that?
Yeah, it's like this ominous black tome, that has like some occult symbols on it. And it's like, yeah, we found this after we were messing around with this new like sort of trend right now, and they pull out one of them pulls out like a Ouija board.
oh.
Gods, give me that!
Is
I'm
the
just
book,
like snatching the book. She's like, book?
is the book bound in a suspicious leather,
No,
Oh god.
no, it's
possibly with a face in it?
No, it's not. But like, yeah, we were messing around with this new thing. It's supposed to let you talk to spirits, and then it told us to go look in the basement. And we found this book in the basement, and we started looking, and there's a whole bunch of magical spells. We've casted a few of them.
What else? have you
Cassandra says, show me where you were doing this Ouija board thing and the spirit was talking to you. Because Cassandra can see ghosts and
Yeah,
spirits just walking around.
They'll bring you basically back to the apartment. They just bring you back into the main apartment room, and just standing there is a ghost of one of the hags.
Of one of the hags.
Yep.
Cassandra looks at the hag and says, don't do that. That is very rude.
What
Are
would
you
it
really
take to-
that bored?
What would it take to exorcise this ghost right now?
Just a religion check.
Hold on. Roll 20 is being roll 20. Give me a second.
Cassandra just keeps scolding this hag. And then she turns to the kids, never trust a hag.
46.
Yeah, it's gone. And
Yeah.
wait.
Nim goes, oh, Cassandra, for God's sakes.
But my tragic backstory!
But yeah.
Should we check the building for more of them?
Do you want to go ghost busting?
I believe it would be a good use of time.
You find 4 more ghosts. That were all just kind of like doing their own thing.
Yeah. In the meantime, while we're doing that, I will share with Nim that
The girls
I got this.
The girls do ask for their book back.
Oh, absolutely not.
Not after that.
Oh, but there's a spell in that we wanted to try. It's on the very last page.
What spell is that?
It's a spell that apparently turns thoughts in your mind into physical apparitions.
Sounds
Nope!
like a nightmare. So
Might look like a nightmare.
here's the next
Who wrote
time.
this book?
Who do you think, Cassandra?
Cassandra?
Yes.
Yep, nope, I figured.
Take a wild stab at it, my love.
It was that or our resident friendly vampire.
All right, girls, listen.
Who? Not.
This is one of the first things about magic that you should maybe know is that if you find an old spell book, maybe do a little bit of research on where it came from and who wrote it before you just start casting spells all willy-nilly, especially casting them on loved ones of all things.
I mean,
This specific spell book formerly belonged to Baba Yaga,
they look
mother
completely
of all
confused.
hags.
No,
Huh?
no idea what you're talking about. They just look
Mother of all
complete-
hags?
No recognition on their faces
Have
whatsoever.
you never seen a hag before? Hags.
Cassandra's just like half-heartedly just goes, "Well, if we use the last spell, we can show them what a hag looks like." I mean, of course, we're not going to do that, but
Absolutely not.
Look, the apartment building that you are currently, for reasons I do not understand and cannot imagine, residing in was built on the former estate and current grave site of an entire coven of hags. They do not mean anyone well, and they were a blight upon Brighthall for decades. Desna only knows how long. So, the next time you find an ancient tome, you may want to make sure that it didn't belong to something deeply, deeply corrupt. Yes?
Just kind of.
I'll try to make sure it wasn't written by me. That's a just bad combination.
Anything written by Cassandra, frankly, just return back to her.
Garl pops her head in. I like the things you write.
Aww.
Sorry, I got lonely.
Oh.
Well, I'm sure Cassandra writes you a lot of love notes, but she used to write a lot of very
Questionable?
questionable. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Cassandra. Questionable content.
Actually,
not in a
Nim, I
fun
had
way.
questions. Apparently you provided this book, and she opens the Garl picture book from your, Magnificent Mansion. I have some questions about this.
It's not ringing a bell.
Plead ignorance.
You said where did you find it?
Cassandra's just like blushing in the corner.
All the girls kind of looking at it, also like, oh.
Does girl answer the question?
I don't know. It was on the coffee table.
It's on the coffee table in your own cottage.
Yes,
And you think I made it?
I think so. I think there was mention of it coming from like your place or something.
It's just like a little
Like-
by Nimbus Magical Mansion. Nimbus Magical Mansion publishing on the back.
Oh, it was from the Magnificent Mansion. Ah, yes. Okay, my apologies. I can't explain that. So when I say fill a room with books that Cassandra might like, the magic just kind of takes what I know of Cassandra and makes it happen.
Garl looks at the book, looks at Cassandra's like, haha, you wanted a book about me.
This appears
Maybe.
to be, yes. In an encyclopedic knowledge of all of Cassandra's favorite things, volume G. Yes, there was also volumes A through Z, but this is the G novel.
McKenna, you
That's
get a
so
hero,
many.
you get a hero point that'll carry over to next week because you said Z correctly.
That's so many numbers. I mean, letters.
It's 26. Granted, some of them are broken up into several volumes. The G one does have several
Many.
installments, but that is the explanation that I have for you, and I do hope that you are not terribly offended. I think most of them are. Ooh, well, that one is very flattering. You can keep this.
There's one.
Cassandra
where-
goes, yes, we will.
There's
Yeah.
one. It's like, you know how like there's like censor bars sometimes on like images on like websites. It's just crystals.
See, I was imagining more like
That's so
Suspicious-
morbid when you think about it.
I was more picturing like strategically placed like ferns or something. Like it's almost like a boudoir shoot or
all-
something
it's all
with ferns.
crystals.
There's probably both. There's Garl with crystals, Garl with ferns, Garl with like there's
Garl in a
it's in alphabetical order.
Garl in a fursuit.
No, I don't think the spell would have thought that Cassandra would like that. Garl and cat ears though, maybe.
It's literally just going like a battle stance, growling and stuff. Just
But like the little ooh cat girl ears.
Fan artists, do it. But
Hop to it.
Yeah, but Cassandra will relay the details to Nim about that one conversation she had with past her about going back in time to old Magdia, where they figured out like how to kill a god and they were doing that stuff. And she's like, hey, if we go back in time to go figure out how they killed a god, we could probably figure out how to kill a god, and we need XYZ supplies
let's time travel.
and also
Oh.
the lenses.
Let's time travel so I can kill my husband.
Yeah.
Well, would we be time traveling to kill your husband or time traveling to learn the information we need to kill your husband?
That one.
That one. All right. Well, that sounds like an astute plan. Yeah. I think that's possibly the most concrete solution that we have thus far to, not having me be erased entirely from space
Also-
and time.
Also, Lynx would have told you about that rune they found and needing like the essence of death itself to power it.
Yeah, but we still don't know what that rune does. It's just a rune.
There is one more scene.
Plus,
I
we have
wanted
no
to-
idea how to get the essence of death itself. We don't have access to the plane of death at all.
We do actually, sort of. If we want to exploit the magic of a 10-year-old girl, we do technically have access to it. Do you remember Abigail?
I do. Quite a darling. She saw ghosts too, just like me.
I mean, haven't we all seen ghosts at this point? I think I've hit a few of them with my sword.
That's true, you have. So she, within her, and as part of her magic, possibly fueling her magic, has access to the plane of death. I watched her do it earlier today.
Intriguing. Maybe we can talk to her about that another time.
Intriguing.
Maybe. All right.
As you all head your separate ways, we are going to jump ahead a few weeks until the post wedding celebrations, probably towards the end of this first year.
Wow, that was a crazy boat journey we had.
It was nice.
Garl.
Carl.
One day, Cassandra's off in the library researching. You're just back at home doing some repair work on the house. There is a knocking at the door.
Oh, I was picturing myself like up on a ladder. I'm like, nope, inside the house. All right. See, me as a person would always check the little peephole. But Garl just swings the door open.
Standing before you is a dapperly dressed man. They're in a lovely.
Is it Aranari?
It is.
All right. I try and punch him in the face. No. Cassandra has spoken to me about that. I shouldn't do that to people who come to see us, even if they're Aranari.
Garl, it's been so long.
You!
Me.
Has it?
It's been almost a year.
Time and space are a mystery to me.
Yes, anyway, I have gifts for you.
Is it an occasion?
I missed the wedding.
Oh, yes, those kind of gifts.
Actually, question: would Arnari been invited to the wedding? Cassandra?
I think Cassandra would have shot him like a little message.
Oh fuck! I'm playing Arnari in the one shot now.
No, but you always play Alessandra.
I have the opportunity to play Arnari.
That would be a nice way to shake things up a little too.
Yes, but we all hate Arnari.
The entire thing is you guys trying to like throw them to the monsters or something.
But anyway, I didn't get to give you all the gifts that I wanted to for the wedding. So, I'm just dropping things off. Don't worry, I'll be out of your hair again very shortly. I have some work to do.
I do not wish to know. Please come in and deposit your gifts.
Yes, here. There we go, there we go.
Oh god, I just invited the vampire in.
Yes, you did.
You see, it's that easy, kids. Constant vigilance.
And then they pull out a rather ornate-looking chest. Also...
I wait a couple minutes to see if it's breathing before I open it.
It is not breathing.
Not a mimic.
A recent colleague of mine also wanted to send their regards. And they just put the chest onto the table, and they just kind of like, I'll leave it be. I'm going to head back. I have a lot of work to do. Probably won't be able to get back here for some time. But, you know, who knows? Tell Cassandra I said hi. Don't tell Nimbus I said hi. And it'll just make her
Carl is
mad.
totally going to tell her that he said hi.
I mean, it'll just make her mad. So if you want to make her mad, go ahead.
No, I'm thinking that.
All right.
Internal monologue, mother trucker.
Thanks for inviting me into your house. That lasts forever. And I'll see you later. Goodbye. And Arnari leaves.
Garl immediately starts planning to disassemble the house and then reassemble it as a new house.
That's not how it works.
Internal monologue.
So yeah,
Garl closes the door.
There's a lovely ornate chest, as well as some like books and things. Arnari bought Cassandra a whole bunch of books.
Garl immediately takes the books and puts them on a shelf in the bedroom that Cassandra has for her books, opposed to the other side of the room where Garl's cool rock collection is.
As you shelf the books, the area, the bookshelf glows, and the books fly out, and they reorganize themselves into like the order that Cassandra would put them in.
One day I'll learn the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah.
One day. It's hard.
But yeah, the box is addressed to you.
I'm going to roll a quick dice because it's the only time I'm going to get to roll a dice tonight.
Not necessarily.
I mean, it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
47. All right. Garl is going to open the chest. If it was a 50 or higher, she would have waited for Cassandra.
As you open the chest, inside is a clear bottle with a clear liquid in it, as well as a note.
Did he give us a bottle of water as a wedding gift? What a cheap bastard.
There is also a note. Garl, I know we've had our differences, and I apologize for the way I acted on our last interaction. Let this be a little bit of a apology, as well as a wedding gift. Please give Cassandra my best. Drevrin. And the note goes on, this is the first batch of essentially moonshine that I've made on the new continent. Enjoy.
Now, Matt, as a person, would never drink this because it seems very suspicious, and I'm an incredibly paranoid person, especially in a fantasy adventure world. Garl, on the other hand, is going to roll another D100. Garl is going to sample it because Garl likes her booze. And it helps with the pain.
It hits like a truck. It is.
I just had a little bit.
It is moonshine.
Garl goes and sits in her favorite chair and just lets it wash over her.
Cassandra, you come in to see Garl being washed over by moonshine.
Garl, are you okay?
The annoying man sent us a present. He's pretty good. Oh, there's some new books for you. They flew around and did the thing you like them to do, so they're in the order. It worked well. You said it would work. Whew.
You see the box and the note
Oof.
on the counter.
Oh. She's wondering, what interaction could he be talking about? I don't think Cassandra ever quite figured out about the fight with Drevrin.
Nope.
Like, negative interaction. Is
I
it...
mean, if you want to ask Garl, now would be a good time
Now would
because
be
she's
the
in her
time.
cups.
Garl, what negative interaction?
I mean, I don't think it was that negative. He tried to pick a fight with me, and I think I tossed him across a room. But it's a bar fight. It was all in good fun. No one died. Should I not have said that? Oh boy.
No.
I
No, you can
shouldn't
say
have
that.
said
It's
that.
fine. No. Cassandra will walk over, take a swig of the moonshine herself,
Hits like
and
a
then just sit in
truck.
Garl's lap and enjoy the ride with Garl.
Garl just gently bonks her head against the side of yours.
Aw.
And as the two of them enjoy that evening, I'm going to say, everyone, thank you so much for coming, as that's the end of year 1. Next week we start year 2.
Yeah.
We're taking our time with this time skip.
We are.
It's
Yes, we
a
are.
3-year time skip.
Yeah.
Also, I like RP.
It is fun.
But my friends, thank you all so much for coming to tonight's episode. Don't forget to check out our many other shows here on the channel, like the Genshin Impact short campaign. Excuse me. As well as the Strength of Thousands game on Monday. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you all on the next one. Bye!
Bye, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.
Girl says, please take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Go to therapy if you feel the need to.
Go to therapy even if you don't feel the need to. If you have the insurance.